folklore passed on about St. Patrick's Day or St. Patrick in general. So with that, can we start with that? Anybody have any stories they want to share, or any Irish roots of things that you may have heard growing up that relate to St. Patrick's Day or St. Patrick?
Lawrence may have one.
Lawrence?
Dude, I'm adopted. I'm Mexican. Come on.
Well,
I mean, they call me O County. Sorry.
Two more months.
Yeah.
We have 2 more months.
Talk to me 2 months.
So, just as a brief history, St. Patrick was actually born Palladius. Was his given name in Ireland, but he was actually born in Britain. He was from a British family. His grandfather was a Catholic priest, and his father was a deacon in the Catholic Church. When he was about 16, he was captured and taken prisoner by Irish marauders who came over looting, and they took him back to Ireland, where he was held in slavery for about 6 years. And during that time, he learned the Celtic language, which would become really important later on in life. When he was in his early 20s, he managed to escape from the place where he was working. He was working as a herdsman, as a lot of herdsmen in Ireland. So he was working as a herdsman and managed to escape and get on a ship and go back to Britain. And while there, he entered the priesthood to follow in the family footsteps, and moved up through the ranks as a diocesan priest and then becoming a bishop. When there was an establishment of Christians on Ireland's island, the church decided they needed to send more bishops there to actually keep the Christians together, because the Christians were being harassed by the pagans. And the pagans, mostly Druids, were trying to convince them that this God they were serving was crazy, and there's all these other great gods that can come and worship. And so basically, they weren't sent there to convert, they were sent there to actually keep the Christians Christian for a time period. So the bishop, St. Patrick, along with 3 other bishops, went over to Ireland to do so. And didn't really have a successful time. I mean, they were captured lots of times, they were robbed, they were beat up a lot, they were put in prison a lot, and held captive, thought they were going to be killed, thought they were going to be sold off to slavery again, lots of ups and downs. But over time, he was able to hold the Christians and then convert new folks, mostly the wealthy. Wealthy women became nuns, and wealthy sons of young sons of kings would become priests, or they would become kind of soldiers in the honor guard, deacons. And so he was managed to create this larger Christian community there. And one of the reasons that you see the shamrock associated with St. Patrick is because he used the shamrock as a way of teaching the Trinity. And those of you who are Christian know that we consider the Trinity as God in 3 persons, but one. And so he used the shamrock as one item, but Father, Son, Holy Spirit. And that was one of his ways of trying to convince them, trying to teach them how Christianity worked. So that would be one thing. Another thing is, once he was managed to move along and create this kind of Christian base, the church wanted to recall him, but the folks there in Ireland really pushed hard to keep him there, because he was able to convert so many people and to hold the church so strongly. He was a great teacher, but he was very long-winded, which was one of the other teachings of the church, is that he used to carry the staff, his walking staff, usually hollowed out of a tree branch that had broken, but he would always slam his staff down when he started his speech. But the Christians, local Christians, always said that it always caught root because he'd been there so long talking during his time periods there. Moving on.